Hello, welcome back to Picture Perfect Greek, Holiday Greek. And today we continue with our series for travelers to Greece because the summer is coming and I wanted to give you a few words and a few expressions that you can use when you are actually in Greece. And so here we go. This is the second part of this. The first part was about arrival and taking the taxi and using public transport. And today we're going to talk about hotel and room bookings. This is an A2 level lesson, so let's begin. Basic Greek phrases for booking a room. As always, first I will read you the text in Greek and then we will translate it word for word, sentence for sentence, and I will explain it to you. If you want the written materials, go to the Substack and there you will find all the text, the written materials, vocabulary, grammar questions, and quizzes. So everything you need is there. Let's begin. Φτάσατε επιτέλους στο ξενοδοχείο και θέλετε να κάνετε check-in. Στην είσοδο, ένα χαμόγελο και ένα καλησπέρα είναι το καλύτερο ξεκίνημα. Στην Ελλάδα, η ευγένεια ανοίγει πόρτες. Ένας ευγενικός επισκέπτης πάντα βρίσκει καλύτερο δωμάτιο. Στη ρεσεψιόν μπορείτε να ζητήσετε δωμάτιο με θέα θάλασσας ή με μπαλκόνι. Αν έχετε κράτηση, πείτε το όνομά σας. Αν όχι, ρωτήστε αν έχουν διαθεσιμότητα. Οι περισσότεροι ρεσεψιονίστ μιλάνε αγγλικά, αλλά με λίγες ελληνικές λέξεις θα κερδίσετε την καρδιά τους. Μην ξεχάσετε να ρωτήσετε τι περιλαμβάνει η τιμή. Πρωινό, μεταφορά. Και αν δεν σας αρέσει το δωμάτιο, ζητήστε αλλαγή. Στην Ελλάδα, το δεν πειράζει ισχύει και εδώ. Όλα λύνονται με ηρεμία. Okay, this was the text. Let's briefly translate the important parts of it. Φτάσατε επιτέλους. You arrived finally. Επιτέλους, τέλος is the end. Επιτέλους means at the end, finally. Έφτασα, I arrived. Φτάνω is the verb. Έφτασα, I arrived. Φτάσατε is the plural, right? You arrived, you all arrived. Επιτέλους, στο ξενοδοχείο, at the hotel. Και θέλετε, and you want, να κάνετε, to make, to do, check-in. You want to check in. Στην είσοδο, at the entrance, ένα χαμόγελο, a smile, χαμόγελο is the smile, και ένα καλησπέρα, and a good evening, είναι το καλύτερο ξεκίνημα, is the best beginning, the best start is the ξεκίνημα. Ξεκινάω means to start, to embark on something, to go, to start going. Στην Ελλάδα, in Greece, η ευγένεια. Η ευγένεια is politeness, but it's interesting because F means good and γένεια comes where genetics comes from, the good, you could say, genetic origin or family origin. So to be of a good family is politeness, ευγένεια, to be of a good family. This gives you, a look into ancient values where you had this idea that in order to be polite or civilized, somebody needed to be from a good family. Of course, this is not anymore the case. There are, we know many from the news, people from good families who are not polite or cultivated. And of course, the opposite is also the case. There are many very cultivated people who are not from big families. But this is this rest, an interesting rest of ancient Greek ideas about what makes people polite and civilized and cultured. Good genes, a good family background. Στην Ελλάδα, η ευγένεια, the politeness, this is all what it means today, right? Ανοίγει πόρτες, opens doors. So this is the same expression like in English. Ένας ευγενικός επισκέπτης, a polite visitor, επισκέπτης is the visitor, πάντα, always, βρίσκει, finds, καλύτερο δωμάτιο, a better room. So I'm not sure if this is a good thing. If you're German, perhaps you find this horrible, that by being polite you get a better room, because sometimes we have this idea that regardless of, how you relate to the person of the receptionist, you should get the room that is available. And the best room, if you ask for it, it shouldn't depend on how polite or how good looking or how young or how old you are, right? But obviously there is a factor of that, right? So if you are polite, you are likely to get a better room. Στη reception, at the reception, and now reception here, of course, this is a foreign word, it's not a Greek word. Στη reception, μπορείτε να ζητήσετε δωμάτιο, you can ask for a room. Ζητώ is to ask for something, ζητήσετε is the plural. You can ask for a δωμάτιο, a room, με θέα θάλασσας, with a view of the sea. And θέα is the view, and don't confuse it with Thea, which is the goddess. And I have another video where we talk about confusing words and especially how Google Translate gets them all wrong. And there you will find this also, Thea and Thea. So it's where you put the tone, right? The stress. So these stresses are very important because if you confuse it, suddenly the view becomes a goddess. I me balcony, or with a balcony. And again, balcony is also not a Greek word. Αν έχετε κράτηση, πείτε το όνομά σας. Αν έχετε, if you have, κράτηση, reservation. And this comes from κρατώ, to hold something, to hold on something. And this is the reservation, means the holding, right? If you have a holding, if you hold on to a room. Πείτε, say, tell, το όνομά σας, your name. Observe here with to όνομά σας how the word has two tones, right? I don't know if you know this already. When you have a word with three syllables mostly, and then the next word is an unstressed personal pronoun, like mu, su, tu, ma, sas, then the tone from this pronoun goes back on the previous word. And so what would be to onomasas becomes to onomasas. And you see now, if you say it like this, you see why. Because it's difficult to say to onomasas, because then you have all these unstressed syllables there, which are difficult to pronounce if you have no stress between them. But if you say to onomasas, then you have a stressed syllable, an unstressed syllable, a stressed syllable, an unstressed syllable, which is much more rhythmic and much more easy to pronounce. So, and you write this by putting the tone of the sas on the last vowel of the previous word. To onomasas. You can do it with many words. To αυτοκίνητό μου. Right? This gets two tones, one of the kinito, one of the e, and one on the o. To αυτοκίνητό μου. Το εστιατόριό μου. Το εστιατόριό του. Το εστιατόριό μας. Our restaurant, or his restaurant, or our restaurant. Yeah, so this is very common. Try to see it and try to use it. Αν όχι, if not, ρωτήστε, ask, αν έχουν διαθεσιμότητα. Αν έχουν, if they have, and διαθέσιμος means available. Now this is it is a little strange way to say it, right? If they have availability. You wouldn't normally say this in this very formal way. I mean, it's good to know it, but you would usually say, αν όχι, ρωτήστε αν έχουν δωμάτιο. Ask if they have a room. But it's good to know the word διαθέσιμος, available. Οι περισσότεροι, most, receptionists, μιλάνε αγγλικά. They speak English. Αλλά με λίγες ελληνικές λέξεις, but with a few ελληνικές, Greek λέξεις, words, θα κερδίσετε, you will win, την καρδιά τους, their heart. Καρδιά is the heart. You know this from English cardiology, cardiac arrest, right? All these words that have to do with the heart. Μην ξεχάσετε, don't forget, να ρωτήσετε, to ask, τι περιλαμβάνει, what is included, η τιμή, in the price. What the price includes, literally, what includes the price. And lambano means to receive, and peri is all around. So what is received all around the price, right? This means literally what the price includes. Πρωινό is the breakfast. Μεταφορά, transfer. Και αν δεν σας αρέσει το δωμάτιο, and if you don't like, then not σας αρέσει, you like. If not, you like. And αρέσω is passive, right? You see it here, the passive form, μου αρέσει. Me is liked by it, right? It's a strange way of saying, but this is how in Greek it's expressed. You don't say I like in the active way. You say the room is liked by me, right? Μου αρέσει το δωμάτιο, the room. Ζητήστε αλλαγή, ask. Ζητώ, we had it before, right? Αλλαγή, change. Αλλάζω is to change, comes from allos, which is the other one. So ask for it to become another one. Στην Ελλάδα, in Greece, το δεν πειράζει. Δεν πειράζει is a very common fixed expression, means it doesn't matter, which is not as aggressive as the English one. If in English I say it doesn't matter, I don't care, this is a little bit aggressive. It means I'm fed up with it right now. I don't care, just do what you want. Don't bother me with this anymore. The δεν πειράζει is a lot softer in Greek, more benevolent, and it's more of a way to console someone, to say, oh, don't worry so much about it. It's not that important, right? So it's a friendly way of reducing the importance of something and feeling good about it. So this δεν πειράζει is used very often. You do something wrong, you step on someone, or you don't have small change where somebody expects you to give them 50 cents, but you don't have 50 cents. So then they may say, δεν πειράζει, it does not matter. Don't worry about it. So it doesn't matter, δεν πειράζει. Ισχύει, it is valid. It applies, but it also means it is valid. So you can use it for tickets, for example. You could say my ticket is valid or it's not valid. Ισχύει, then ισχύει. Και εδώ, also here, όλα λύνονται, everything is solved, resolved. Lino is literally to untie a knot. Deno is to tie something, and lino is to untie it. Everything is untied, so is solved. Με ηρεμία, with calm. Ηρεμία is the calm. Ήρεμος is the calm person. Okay, this was it. We have a few useful phrases that you should remember, and again, all of them are in the Substack. Go there to get the written version of this. Check in. Έχω κράτηση. I have a reservation. Η κράτηση είναι στο όνομα. And then you say your name. Η κράτηση είναι στο όνομα. Maya. Θέλω να κάνω check-in. I want to check in. Πότε μπορώ να κάνω check-in? When can I check in? Θέλω μονό δωμάτιο. I want a single room. Or θέλω διπλό δωμάτιο. I want a double room. Είναι διαθέσιμο. Is there available? Δωμάτιο, a room. Με θέα θάλασσας. With a sea view. Πόσο κοστίζει ανά βράδυ? How much does it cost for each? The ανά here means for each. Βράδυ, evening, for each night, per night. This ανά is a little odd, like per in English. You don't normally say per in everyday speech, but you say how much does it cost per night? So it's the same with the ανά. You wouldn't use it in everyday speech, but you use it in this fixed expression per kilogram, per night, per dollar, whatever it is, per person. Okay, and there are many, many more. I cannot read you all of them now, but you will find them all there. And now it's time for a little quiz. Let me ask you a few questions where you can practice, and stop the video, pause it until you have found the answer. How do you say finally? You arrived finally. Επιτέλους. Επιτέλους means finally. How's the hotel? Ξενοδοχείο. Xenos is the foreigner, is where xenophobia comes from. And δοχείο, δέχομαι, is to receive. Δοχείο is the receptacle, is the thing that you use to receive something, the container. Ξενοδοχείο is literally a container for strangers. How do you say check in Greek? Of course, that's a trick question. Check in. How do you say a smile? Ένα χαμόγελο. Ένα χαμόγελο. How do you say it opens doors? Ανοίγει portes. Ανοίγει portes. How do you say available? Διαθέσιμο. Διαθέσιμο. How do you say it doesn't matter? Δεν πειράζει. Δεν πειράζει. And if you forgot this, δεν πειράζει. And with this, we are finished. And I will see you again next time for the third part of this series that teaches you what you need to know before you go to Greece. Thank you and see you there. Bye-bye.